This is the guys on the PokerStars blog are providing. Great coverage over at PokerStarsblog.com. Tomorrow, we're going to be following the last day of the LAPT event. It's the first time that the PCA has linked with the Latin American Poker Tour. And the first ever LAPT Bahamas event, a $3,000 event, concludes tomorrow on live stream right here on PokerStars.tv.
James Glenn has got a great point. I think that if the team pros want to throw tomatoes, that they have to pay for them themselves.
Whoa.
Because the food here is very expensive, and that will limit the number of tomatoes that can be thrown at me. I mean, that's like a buy-in. They throw like 20 tomatoes. That's like a side event. Tomatoes are $7.50 a piece.
And don't forget the VAT. O'Dwyer's raise, called by Roger Sipple. And even though Steve has dominated going to the flop, we have a reverse domination situation now with O'Dwyer pairing his six.
Steve probably pretty confident in that six once again. Especially if Sipple checks again here. He's not gonna though. Sipple's gonna take a stab.
Dwyer calls the 375K. The river brings a tray.
And I'm not really sure, given what we've seen, if Sipple bets again. Okay, well, he's not going to bet again. You know, if he could get Steve to fold a six, Steve checks behind, realizing it's going to be pretty tough for him to get called by worse.
And Steve O'Dwyer reclaims the chip lead up to 7.8 million. Roger Sipple on 5.75 million. And we spoke to Roger's son, William Sipple, who is here in the Bahamas, railing his dad at the final table.
So Dad's here playing the super high roller tournament and invited me to come out about a couple of weeks ago to keep Mom company while he's here playing. He's, you know, pretty busy at these tables, and he's been going deep in this tournament, so we've had a lot of fun here. It's pretty wild. I didn't necessarily expect him to make it to the final table, and you know, being at the final table in a tournament this big and with this big a cash prize and standing around it's pretty surreal. It's been a big dream of his since he was a kid to be a world-class athlete here on TV for his, you know, poker skills. He's gone from playing as a kid with pennies to playing with the big shots here at the tables.
Oh, what a sweet boy. And did he say athlete? Are we sportifying poker again?
Oh,
yes,
no,
I'm going to
please.
sportify
No,
Oliver
no.
Poker's face.
You got more than 9 big blinds. You can, you know, share a little bit.
All good, Steve.
Steve defending his big blind to a raise from
I'm going
Roger
to be hearing
Sipple
about
on
this
the button.
20 years from now, I'm sure.
No, you'll never hear about it again. You'll just have me attacking you more.
So check on the flop, check on the turn. Again, the action goes check. Steve's king high is good.
9 high.
And
King high.
this goes check to showdown.
King high.
We've played 81 hands at this final table. We started the day with 7 players. We're down to 3, and we will continue playing today until we have a champion.
Oh, really? Sorry.
Bryn Kenny's button, 9-10 suited. It's a raise to 275,000. Roger Sipple calls in the big blind with ace-9. He's got Bryn dominated.
Doesn't look like the domination is going to be too much of a factor.
Top pair for Roger, checks the action to Bryn. And Kenny continues the flop. 190,000. Sipple calls. The turn card is a 4. Still nothing for Bryn. In fact, he's now drawing dead. Roger checks for a second time. And is Bryn going to bluff at this again? Looks like it. There's $1 million in the pot. Bryn's got 2.4 million behind.
570,000.
And he's bet 570,000.
Oh, it's so dicey for Sipple. I mean, you're just like, I have top pair. How can I fold? Not a great kicker. Bryn's certainly capable of doing this with a worse hand. But when you call down all the way and your kicker's no good, you feel like such a dunce.
Well, Roger Sipple has proved he can make good calls.
He can hero with the best of them. The problem is he's not at the hero stage just yet.
It's if you call turn, what kind of a bet are you going to be facing on the river?
Correct.
Gordon Mackay's happy about this hand. He says, finally, Sipple versus Kenny.
People have been writing in about that all week.
Thank you.
Wow, Sipple folds though. Wants to wait for a better spot. We've seen tons of respect given to Bryn Kenny today. He's gotten folks to fold the best hand a lot.
So we're back to a situation where Steve O'Dwyer has the chip lead with just over 8 million. Roger Sipple second in chips with just below 5 million. Bryn Kenny not that far behind Sipple with around 3.5 million.
Oliver says, my big dream as an Austrian boy is to play with Daniel Negreanu and Steve O'Dwyer on one table. Oliver, you know who the last Austrian boy with a dream was? Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he grew up to be a disgraced governor. So I think that really anything,
About 3 points.
anything is achievable if you're Austrian and you dream it.
275.
Dream on, you little dreamer.
I just think if Oliver had made it to that final table in Monaco, the grand final at the end of season 9, he would have got to play on the same table as Steve O'Dwyer and Daniel Negreanu and Jason Mercier and Jake Cody.
Max Altergott lived out that Austrian boy's dream. You know, that German Austrian dream thing that happens.
Dwyer's raised the button with Queen 7. Looks like Roger wants to play. Calls from the small blind. We know he's got an 8. Bryn Kenny's folded the big. Heads up to the flop.
Dwyer's missed pretty hard.
And you know, one of Sippel's cards, Queen High, could still be ahead.
Steve now with nearly the nothing. Sippel checks again.
Queen. Me too.
Queen is going to be a chop.
It is indeed, because the kickers don't play. This will end in a chop pot. And you know what they say? Everyone loves a chop pot. John Eccles asks, I wonder if Stephen Grainer ever listened back to the commentary on his EPT win in Prague. I wonder what he thought of the Sportify stuff.
How do you say there, Grainer? How do you say there? I think he walked away from that tournament a rich man. He's probably fine with it.
O'Dwyer with 68 bigs, Roger Sippel with 42, Bryn Kenny with 28, and 24 minutes left on this level. We'll take our second break of the day and come back with the blinds at 80,000, 160,000, with the ante staying at 20,000. Reminder that if, like John Eccles or Carl Parrish, you had some very nice words to say, you want to get in touch with us in the booth, the hashtag to use on Twitter is EPT Live. One year we made the mistake of using the hashtag PCA Live, only to find out it was already taken by a specialist service that provides updates on police chases.
Also last night was the People's Choice Awards, so that could have got a little dicey as well. Which, by the way, congratulations to one of my favorite shows, Joey and Melissa, winning the People's Choice Award for favorite family sitcom.
Whoa. Sippel Raiters with Jack 10. Bryn Kenny shoves from the small blind, and O'Dwyer's got 10s.
Oh, boy.
Roughly, it's about 3.6. It might be a little under 3.6.
Good tweet from Adam. It's every German's dream to be an Austrian
2-7.
poker player when they grow up.
Agreed.
Mullen.
Wow.
Reshove from O'Dwyer. Easy fold for Sippel.
Pocket 10s.
This is huge.
It's a classic race.
Absolutely huge race.
And it's a race, rather, for Bryn Kenny's tournament life.
This is like the tombstone versus the rock bottom. One of these two hands has a slight mathematical advantage, and it's pocket 10s. Bryn Kenny's brother.
3.3, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
On the rail. Huge flip. Huge.
7 million chips. And 10s are holding. So if Steve O'Dwyer wins this, he'll go heads up against Roger Sippel with a massive chip lead. Bryn Kenny looking for a king or a queen on the river. He's got 6 outs.
Steve's hoping they'll keep him low, Dwyer.
It's another ace. So 10s hold, and we lose Bryn Kenny. He final tabled the first ever super high roller at the PCA. He final tables this one in 2015, exiting in third place for $873,880. And we have two players who are going to make more than $1 million now. Roger Sipple will go heads up against Steve O'Dwyer. Sipple with 4.7 million. Steve O'Dwyer with better than a 2-to-1 chip lead over his opponent, 11.8 million.
Oh my God, they killed Kenny. Yes, I'm going home.
So we're going to take the break early. We're going to take a 15-minute hiatus while we set up for the heads-up battle. When we come back in 15 minutes' time, it will be O'Dwyer against Sipple. 1.3 million for the runner-up, 1.87 million for the winner, $500,000 in play, plus, of course, the first trophy of the 2015 PCA. So join us very shortly. The final two will play down to a winner here at the PCA.
Introducing PokerStars $1 Million Spin and Go. With just $5 and 5 minutes of poker, you could win up to $1 million. Win big, fast, with the new $1 Million Spin and Go, only at PokerStars.com.
Demian announces all in. Kachalov's going to snap call him. He needs to see a 10 on the turn or river. The river is a 9. Demian is eliminated. The rest of the final table are in the money.
During the genocide against Tutsi, my father, my sister, my brother were killed. Before right play came, I was not happy. I was feeling alone. When I had the chance for getting training of right to play, I have used that for improving the life of others in return of mine. So right to play teaches peace by using a game. We use those games to teach children to have team spirit, to make a unity. Right play has helped the people to forgive each other. Right play has helped me to improve my life.
So Grinder's time behind bars is up, and he's free to rejoin Heat 8 of the PokerStars Shark Cage.
I'll tell you what, next time I bluff, I'm all in, for sure. I'm not going back in that thing.
Blinds are now 10,000 and 20,000 with a 5,000 ante.
Oh, where's my chips? Oh my God.
You lose blinds and antes when you're in the cage, and this is a big ante game. Folded around to David. He's out. Vanessa raising from the button with 9-7 of hearts.
Yep.
Tony's folded. 10-3 offsuit for Ola in the big blind. He calls.
Loose call.
The flop gives Ola a pair of 10s.
Vanessa's almost always continuing here. It's almost a pre-semi bluff with lots of good backdoor turns she can hit.
There's the bet.
And Ola knows this, which means he won't fold a pair.
He calls. Great turn card for Vanessa. She has a flush draw and a straight draw.
So many reasons for her to bet here. She can win the pot now. She can hit her card and win an even bigger pot. She can miss her card and bluff the river. Send a fool to the shark cage.
Vanessa's shot clock is running. 10-second warning. She bets.
Ola's still got the best hand.
He calls, which means the prospect of someone being sent to the cage becomes a distinct possibility. Vanessa bricks the river. Ola checks, so if Vanessa bets here, it will be a bluff.
Come on, come on, come on. She knows she's got to bluff this if she wants any chance of winning this pot. Ola's not often calling the flop with worse than 9 high.
Once again, she's in a situation where her time is running out. She's played a time bank chip. She extends her shot clock by 30 seconds.
Come on, put out that bluff card.
Big bet.
Vanessa's running a super sweet bluff here.
And here comes the bluff card.
All the flop draws missed, so this really could go either way. All I know is that Ola Shemian is the leader of the Swagvation army. General Swaggy McSwagger, and I just don't see him getting sent to the cage here. Vanessa's rep is already more aggro than a New York City cab driver.
He's playing a time bank chip.
With the shark cage at play, I think she might get looked up.
Well, this bet is for about a third of Ola's remaining stack.
And I guess the one problem is that there are a lot of hands he's losing to. A king, a deuce, ace 10. She's kind of played this like she's got a king.
10 seconds. Ola plays a second time bank chip. Remember, players have a limited number of time bank chips. Each one extends the clock by 30 seconds.
And if there's one player at this table who can confuse you and make you use up a lot of time, it's Vanessa Selbst.
He's sweating hard over this one. 10-second warning again. Another time bank.
Too many chips. You're going broke on time.
I hated that movie.
What are these worth, do you think?
So that was very little.
Very little? 5,000?
Less.
Less? Really?
500.
It's worth more than an ante.
He needs to borrow some of that time from Justin Timberlake's forearm.
Of course, if Ola finds a call here, Vanessa's going in the cage. That's time bank chip number 4.
What's the most buttons somebody used in one hand?
I think it's 4.
This.
You could break the record.
Thank you.
He calls!
Value?
Snapped off like a headphone jack and a laptop.
And we're locking up Vanessa.
Pair of 10s for Ole.
Wow.
That was an easy call. I would.
Over to the cage.
Nobody likes losing, but Vanessa hates it like a Bajoran hates a Cardassian.
Kim Kardashian.
You know, you're part of the problem.
Vanessa, not happy.
I would have called faster. I wouldn't even use my time banks. You just a 2-8-3 time bank. That's kind of like you lost the pot.
It's all right for me.
Yeah.
He still wins all the swag. And then there's Vanessa.
Hello, my babies. It's Stapes here from Barcelona EPT 100 Challenge Stapes. You guys have selected this time around that I need to sell 100 euros worth of sand at the beach in honor of EPT 100. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure that you guys were gonna pick the guitar challenge. So I took 6 weeks of guitar lessons. I dropped $2 grand. Oh boy, all right. It's caught on my belt, caught on my suspenders. So we've got a lot of different types of sand we're selling today, guys. We've got new sand, we've got used sand if you're on a budget. Hair growth sand, popular with the Negranu crowd. Sand for sale! Can I interest you guys in some sand? I have some very special edition fine sand for you. Not good enough for you, not gonna, that's fine. You know what, I got something I can do even better, because I can tell you're a woman of taste. This is our absolute top of the line. This is even more fine sand. It's just 100 euros. Okay, you make me an offer.
But I don't want sand.
You don't want sand?
No.
Boy, that's really gonna make this difficult. Well, at least we picked a crowded day at the beach. Sand for sale? Get your sand here. Buenos dias. We're having a sale on sand today.
Okay, we're a bit hungry, so...
Wait, you're hungry? Oh, that's fine. You know, because I do have some edible sand. It's delicious. I'll show you guys. Mmm. So good. Well, I gotta tell you what, guys. I'm a little too hungry. Sand for sale! Do you ever experience dry skin? Maybe after the sun? You don't. This is something that could really come in handy. This is special love potion sand. Do you ever experience skin that's too moist? Just 100 euros. You're laughing because you can't believe that something that works this well is that cheap. How about skin that's perfectly normal all the time? This is great for that.
I would give 50 cents, yeah.
50 cents? Sold. Sold. Sold.
For you, yes.
And a tip? Yes. Yes, you're very welcome. Thanks, guys. Enjoy that sand. We got some coins. So we are well on our way. Cha-ching. Elkie. Hey, man. I'm out here doing challenge stapes, and my job is to sell sand on the beach.
Oh, really?
It's been a really good day so far, and these are going fast, and I thought that maybe I should just offer you some before I'm all sold out.
It's pretty nice of you.
This is sand 2.0. It could really be anything you want it to be, but the best part is, it's version 2.0, so it's better. One of the great things about this, you put a little of this in the corner of the room, it all goes right on it. Special edition sand. It's 5 euros. What do you think?
And nothing for free?
Oh my God, my neck is on fire! If you want to make your own private beach, you can use it. That bottle is just, it's only 100 euros.
But if I mix the sand, then it's all gonna be messed up. I have to buy like only the same type of sand, no?
Yes, of course, and we have more of this. I mean, this is just what I carry around with me now, but the warehouse is full of this stuff. What do you got? 1 coin.
I have this one.
What? We have all kinds of different sand here. I can barely keep it straight. This right here, this is sand that's been walked on.
Hey, special edition, you have more. Sand 2.0, you only have 1 left.
Yeah, well, it's a big ticket item for the special edition sand. I guess this puts me up to like 50 cents in a garbage bag. We'll do 4 for 50 euro.
4 for 50 euros?
Yeah. And you know what? I'll tell you what. I got a bag. I'll put it all right in this bag for you. I hope there's some more suckers like Elkie out here. We're halfway there, guys. We're halfway there. It's 20 euros for this.
I give you 20 cents if you want.
20 cents sold. Sold. You drive a hard bargain, but I'm in.
Yeah, keep the change.
All right, excellent. 1 euro, everybody. We got one. You won't regret that. No refunds. You can see the face of Jesus in the sand. I guess they're not the religious type. Look, I gotta get back in the booth soon. I can't be out here all day. I've been out here for 2.5 hours, and I've sold like 51.5 euros worth of stuff. We're gonna take some drastic measures. We're gonna take our special edition sand and just put a little bonus in there. I want to sell you my special edition sand with a 50 euro note in it. What do you guys say? Help me out here.
Okay.
All right, he's in. Done. We hit the goal. There you go, my friend. Look, I got to be honest with you guys. I did pull a slight trick. The 50 euro note is real. Special edition sand is what I sold you. Unfortunately, discount sand. Sorry, guys. Well, they say the greatest salesman in the world could sell sand at the beach. And I guess that makes me the greatest salesman in the world because I sold 101 euros and 47 cents. I'm pretty sure I failed this challenge, but it's like my dad always said, cheat to win.
first player to win 2 main event titles.
I'm in some kind of combination of shock and disbelief and kind of amazed.
And just look at the emotion on her face. She doesn't even believe it's over.
It has been amazing to have my husband here.
Poker is not the game for me. I have great respect for the people who play it well. And, you know, my wife plays it better than anyone.
Winning EPT London in 2006 was magical for me because it was my hometown and because I suppose then I didn't believe that I could win a major professional tournament like that. And that changed my world because I thought, I can really do this seriously. I mean, certainly, you know, I've had good results since then. I've won some side events. Having said that, it was 7 years ago. Certainly long enough for people to start saying, is she really any good? So there's a secret satisfaction there too.
Vicky Curran's shell shock. Yes, she has won a huge amount of money, but she has also made history.
I hope people can see, you know, I'm enjoying myself. I'm playing poker for fun. You know, it's really not an impossible dream. And I hope they look at me and go, you know, in a way she is just a ditzy girl having a nice time. I could do that too. And the truth is they really could.
Cowboy hat and Texan drawl, Doyle Brunson is the godfather of poker. He spent more than 50 years on the felt and is one of the game's most influential players. To the delight of all, Texas Dolly came across the pond to London back in season 8 to take part in his first ever EPT main event.
How much did you start with? No idea.
Wow, this is as quintessential as it gets. The rocky old gunslinger versus the laggy young mouse clicker.
Seems like it's etiquette over here to tell, but I just don't count my chips. All in.
Doyle shoves.
What are you going to do now, Benny?
You're not messing with Doyle Brunson anymore.
Yeah, by the way, that's Doyle Brunson. Maybe you've heard of him? That's right, Benny. Godfather of poker.
And it was no surprise to see the legend claim a cash.
Texas Dolly's a perfect cashing record on the EPT.
This was my first EPT cash, and I enjoyed it very much.
Back to the Bahamas and the PokerStars.net PCA 2015. It's the final table of the Super High Roller, and we are heads up. 2 players remain from the 50 who started. It's Steve O'Dwyer against Roger Sipple. The pro versus the amateur. And it's the pro with all the chips right now. O'Dwyer with 11.8 million. Roger Sipple with around 4.7 million. And we've still got around 21 minutes of level 22 to play. Blinds will stay at 60,000, 120,000 with a 20,000 ante, and then we'll roll straight into level 23, of course, should we get that far. So how did we get to this stage? How do we get from the 7 we started with to the 2 we have now? Well, yesterday, we were meant to play down to 8. Scott Seaver went out in 8th, so 7 returned for this final table. with millions of dollars on the line. And it was Cyril Mitzi who was the chip leader out of the final 7. Sam Greenwood at the opposite end of the spectrum. He was the short stack. But it was Andrew Roble who was first to hit the rail. Top pair beaten by Bryn Kenny's flush. Sam Greenwood next out. At least he landed up a spot. Out in 5th place is the German pro Christoph Vogelsang, bagging more than $500,000. Cyril Mitzi, start of day chip leader, out in 4th, knocked out by his friend Bryn Kenny. We were 3-handed for quite some time until Steve O'Dwyer called Bryn Kenny's all in. 10s held against King Queen. Kenny out in 3rd for 873k. And now we are heads up.
The other 2 times I was heads up. They're in 4 and 7.
So O'Dwyer has better than a 2-to-1 chip lead over Roger Sipple. A lot of people saying that this is O'Dwyer's for the losing. Dale says, I can't see O'Dwyer losing this now. One of the best players, a 2-to-1 chip lead, although Sipple has got heart and he has got game. Oliver Stockman says, yeah, Steve O'Dwyer, come on, you must win. Stranger things have happened. And of course, Steve O'Dwyer looking to be the 2nd player after Martin Finger to have both a main event title to his name and a Super High Roller trophy as well. Once again, we thank Don Patman for his patented Don Patman fact.
Yes? No?
Dennis says, I dare to say any kind of deal in heads up just won't happen. Steve's such a bowler, wins, flips and whatnot. Don't prove me wrong, Steve. The irony is, Steve being a professional, multi-table tournament player, I don't think would be averse to entertaining deal negotiations. I think it's Roger Sipple who'd be the player who'd say no. And we actually had that tournament reporter who's covered some of the big buy-in events at Aria where Roger previously plays. He says, look, Roger does not chop. And we saw the situation in the EPT Grand Final when it got heads up between Steve O'Dwyer and another amateur, Andrew Pantling, another businessman who's a very accomplished poker player. And again, Steve said, do you want to talk deal? Pantling said no. Often it's the guys who already have the money, who don't need to deal, who are more interested in just the outright win, the total victory.
Are you happy where you are?
I don't care, whatever you like.
Okay.
All right.
So we've just repositioned the players for this heads-up battle. A quick reminder, by the way, that once play actually concludes today, once we have our eventual champion, whichever of these 2 guys it may be, we are going to bring you coverage of the LAPT Bahamas event tomorrow. The first time ever that the LAPT has teamed up with the PCA and kind of perform the role that some of the local tours in Europe perform on the EPT. They're kind of like the warm-up, the prelims. The 3K event, which attracted a big field, not just online qualifiers and pros and amateurs from Latin America, but many of the people who'd come to play the PCA events arrived early to play the LAPT. A huge field, which is being whittled down today. They're now in the money. We're hoping to get down to the final table tonight, although with such a big field that might not happen. But the final day of that tournament will be covered right here on EPT Live tomorrow. And then we're going to switch our focus to the PCA main. It's day 1A of that 10K event today, day 1B tomorrow. Live updates of those 2 days of action on the PokerStarsBlog.com. And then we'll start streaming with a feature table from day 2. So make sure you start watching our coverage on Saturday, all the way through to the final table next Wednesday. Once again, cards up coverage whenever we have a final table and we are playing down to a champion. Now, time is running out if you want to vote in challenge stakes. 3 potential challenges for Joe Stapleton to face here at Atlantis. Will he be performing stand-up at the comedy club Joker's Wild, where members of Team Pro will be judging his performance? They might be applauding if he's good, or they might be throwing tomatoes at him if he's bad. Will Joe be running his own bar, coming up with some cocktails, or will he be doing water slide races against Team Pro? Vote now on the European Poker Tour or PCA Facebook page. You've got until 8 p.m. Eastern Time, just an hour from now. Let's go down to the floor. I'm Richard Nielsen. Let's get this heads-up battle underway.
Hello, and we are heads up in the PCA 2015 Super High Roller. We have on my right Roger Sipple. He has 4,695,000 in chips, and we have Stephen O'Dwyer on my left with 11,810,000 in chips. If I can ask you both to come and shake hands. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
It's been a pleasure.
All right. And both of you, good luck. And dealer, shuffle up and deal.
The clock is running. The concluding chapter of level 22, blind 60,000, 120,000 with a 20,000 ante. Steve O'Dwyer and Roger Sipple heads up for their first Super High Roller title, the pro against the amateur. And talking of pros, we are going to bring a member of Team PokerStars Pro into the booth right now.
He made it, what?
And we talked about Steve O'Dwyer winning the EPT Grand Final main event, a player who was at that final table, then went on to come second in the Super High Roller event a few days later. Jason Mercier, welcome to the booth.
Thanks for having me, buddy. How's it going?
It's going good, and you join us at the business end of the tournament, and here we are in a situation where Steve O'Dwyer's got better than a 2-to-1 chip lead over his opponent. Just out of interest, Jason, have you come across Roger Sipple before?
I've actually, well, I played against him in this event, and I played against him a few other times. He plays the Super High Roller events that run in Vegas usually. So, yeah, he played pretty well, to be honest. Like at the table on day 2, I think I played against him. But yeah, I was pretty impressed.
He made a big hero call against Steve O'Dwyer earlier on, a hero call that proved out to be correct, and at that point
Really?
he took the chip lead.
Oh, wow.
But then there was a big collision when he had queens and Steve O'Dwyer had kings, one of those inevitable coolers,
Heads
and
up
unavoidable
or three-handed?
situation. No, this was when we were four-handed.
Oh,
and
four-handed.
that obviously saw the momentum shift in Steve's favor.
Sure.
How much?
280,000. Stephen calls. And we're going to see it.
Where's your buddy Stapes?
He's taking a short break.
Oh, okay.
5 spades and king of diamonds.
He missed lunch.
I missed lunch. I haven't eaten either.
So we're feeding the Stapleton right now.
That sounds like an interesting hashtag.
Well, of course, the last time you saw him consuming food was in liquid form, remember?
I actually don't. Oh, yeah. Challenge Stapes.
Now, if the stand-up challenge wins this time around, are you going to go to Joker's Wild and see Mr. Stapleton perform his stand-up and potentially pelt him with tomatoes if he's useless?
I mean, I would love to do that. If it works out in my schedule, yeah, sure.
A lot of tournaments to play here at the PCA. Sipple was the pre-flop raiser. He continued the flop. Checks back the turn.
Oh. I think O'Dwyer's going to win a big pot here. It's going to go bet and snap call.
There's the bet, and here's the snap call. That was pretty fast for Steve O'Dwyer, to be fair.
So it's hard to pretend you got the hand the other guy's got.
Yeah.
And just
Glad I
like
got you
that,
back on the team.
Steve extends his chip lead. He's now got a 10 million lead over Roger Sipple, and it's important to point out they are playing for a difference of $500,000, 1.3 million, 1.34 million rather for the runner-up, 1.87 million for the winner, and of course the trophy and prestige that comes with the win.
And no deal was done, I assume.
No, this is one of those situations where obviously Roger Sipple not interested in talking shop.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I don't know, Steve.
When they got to heads up, what were the stacks?
It was, as you came in, 11 million playing 4 million.
Oh, okay, okay.
And it could well be that, you know, Steve may not have decided to actually proposed deal because he had that big lead, but equally we've heard that Roger Sipple does not entertain deals.
Gotcha. Who got third place? I know Sorrell got fourth, right?
We love the game and we love Bryn Kenny.
Ah, Bryn Kenny.
Oh.
Willie Elliott is with Timo Dwyer. He says, go Steve. Played with him last year at Edinburgh UKIPT, straight after he bricked everything at the PCA last year. Also played with him on the Isle of Man. Such a nice guy. And Steve does have that hangdog expression at the table, but he is actually a positive, happy person. A bit like you, Jason.
A bit like me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Steve's a real good guy. Definitely one of the nicer guys on the tour.
This is hand 87 of the final table. A raise from O'Dwyer called by Sipple. Sipple leads the flop. O'Dwyer calls with the best hand. Oh, Sipple actually paired his two, hence the lead on the flop.
Kind of confused by O'Dwyer's call here on the flop. Not too sure what his plan is.
Well, Sipple slows down and checks. Is the plan now to bet turn?
I'd assume so, but he checks back. Steve's just got a bet now, I would assume. I mean, what hand does he beat?
Like 600,000.
Oh wow, there he goes.
King high.
It is.
I don't know if you noticed, but like, I spaced out for a second and checked out a
On the
turn.
button. I did that in a cash game. I'll tell you that story offline.
I don't know what happened. Like I knew I was the button, and then just the flop came down.
It looked a little weak.
Yeah, I know, but I mean.
Oh, he checked out a turn on the flop.
I guess I got a bluff. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't trying to shoot an angler. I just
I
completely
know,
spaced out.
Oh, I know, because I did it about 2 months ago. In a very bad time to do it.
I mean, this isn't a very good time to do it either. We are playing for a bit of money.
Well, the dealer thought that it had been checked to me, and he thought it was check. And he goes and fires off the turn, and it was a queen, and it made me a set of queens. And my opponent had pocket aces. And so it was going to be a lot of money to me, but that didn't come my way because they put it back in and shuffled up again.
Yeah, I got to wake up.
So pretty much back where we
First time
started.
I've done that in a long time.
12 million for Steve, 4.4 million for Roger.
Well, us amateurs will forgive you pros every now and again, you know. I'm surprised I haven't done some giant faux pas yet this turn.
Well, I mentioned, Jason, it was Bryn
It won't be
Kenny
a small one
who
like
went
that
out
either.
in third, and shortly after Bryn exited the tournament, we spoke to him on the rail.
My day was going good at first. Chipped up pretty nice, and I kind of was card dead pretty much the whole final table except for the hand that I busted Roble and Sorrell. Other than that, I was getting dealt pretty bad cards. There's kind of nothing I could do. I'm real happy with how I played, so in poker, that's all you could do. Me and Sorrell, we didn't play too many pots like before that. He was just losing pots to all the other players at the table. So then when he was shortish, he made a shove with pocket deuces, and I won the flip against him, and he for sure wasn't happy to lose a flip against me, but it's poker, it happens. Just play your best and whatever happens. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with how I played, so really that's all you can judge your poker game or your tournament on. If you make some mistakes, then you can be hard on yourself, but I feel like I played pretty phenomenal all tournament, so I'm happy with the result.
A reminder that Bryn collects $873,880 for his third place finish. And Bryn was the last player at the final table who was only in for one bullet. Both Roger and Steve reloaded, so they're in for 200K. Not that's going to worry them now they're guaranteed more than $1 million each.
It's a decent way to start the year.
Do you find, Jason, that if you know, people always talk about having a good PCA or a bad PCA, and do you find that if you have the proverbial good PCA, that does kind of then set off a good year, that it kind of gives you the confidence that if you hit the ground running at the start of the year, things then sort of happen?
I've actually never had a positive PCA.
Ah, so that was a bit of a needle question then.
Somewhat of a needle. I think I've lost 7 years in a row. But I think I'm about close to even, actually, on this trip, despite busting the 100K. Been doing well in some cash games so far. But, yeah, this would be nice to have the first positive PCA. But yeah, definitely, it always feels good to start the year out on a positive note, and you know, kind of use that momentum for the rest of the year.
One of Steve's friends, Justin Bonomo, watching from the rail, next to official EPT/PCA photographer Neil Stoddart, who we saw battling with a screen earlier on. So I'm assuming, Jason, that you're playing day 1B of the main event, and that you haven't suffered a horrible early calamity on day 1A.
That is correct.
Good.
I am playing tomorrow.
It's always that awful thing when one of you guys comes in on day 1A and they're like, oh, so you're playing day 1B? It's like, no,
Yeah.
I played already.
No, I played and all of my chips are gone.
Think it's going to be a big field this year in the main event?
I'm not too sure, actually. Do you know how many they got for today?
Well, and of course, registration's still going, right? People still coming in.
Sure. Day 1B is always the bigger day, usually almost two times as many players, I think.
I mean, last year it's pretty much 3 times, although
Oh,
there were some weather issues last year, which meant that, I mean, the latest update, and remember you can follow the action via the live updates on the PokerStars blog, 216. But I would imagine that we're going to be looking at like 700, 800 players tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, I was expecting, you know, there to be 1,000 people, so 1,000 players.
We've
Oh
also,
my goodness.
You also, of course, got the added complication, if you like, of that LAPT event, with so many people playing that and making it to day 2 and making the money today.
Sure.
Maybe some of those guys would have played day 1A, but will now defer to day 1B.
Yeah, there was 187 people, I think, that came into day 2 of that 3K. So,
well, the latest
figure
update,
at least half of them are playing the main tomorrow.
The latest update is that 42 remain in that LAPT event. And remember, the final day will be streamed right here on EPT Live.
I'm thinking small.
Well, the good news is that Joe Stapleton has finally eaten.
Yes.
The Stapleton.
What up, the Merce dog?
I want to make a staple noise, like.
That works.
I don't know if that's.
I think I couldn't tell if I'm sitting next to Jason Mercer or Police Academy's Michael Winslow.
Michael Winslow.
Don't you remember that? The guy
The
from
guy
Police
did all the noises in Police Academy. Jason, have you seen Police Academy?
I don't. Is that a movie?
Well, it's not an academy. I mean, it is, but that's not what we're asking if you
I
saw.
mean, there's police academies everywhere.
Yes, have you ever seen a Police Academy?
There are 7 movies in the series. It's quite a popular franchise.
Should we go through? Should we go through them all, James?
There is Police Academy.
Yeah.
There is Police Academy 2, their first assignment. There is Police Academy 3, back in training.
Let me do a couple. Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol.
What year
Police
was this?
Academy 5,
80s?
Assignment Miami Beach.
80s, 90s?
Police Academy 6, City Under Siege.
Police Academy 7, Mission to Moscow.
Oh, man. Is this for real? Are there 7 of them?
There are 7, buddy, and you've seen none of them. And in fact, get out of this booth and go watch 7 of them. Go learn something, read a book, and come back.
I'm out of here.
Anyway, this guy named Michael Winslow, who used to do sound effects with his mouth. And every single kid who ever saw the Police Academy movies at some period of his life, whether it was for a day or like years, thought that he was going to be the next Michael Winslow. So he would go around his house, annoying his parents, making noises like, is that a helicopter I hear outside? And then you realize at some point you're terrible at it and you give it up.
But you're pretty good at it, right?
No.
You're not?
I'm not good at many things. And that is one of the many things I'm not good at.
At least you got comedy, am I right?
At least. What's happening
I'm
in
all
this
in.
hand? Whoa, okay. Good time to pay attention.
That's going to be a fold. Oh, maybe he'll call it. I doubt it.
He folds.
I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. I thought I did. Oh, side by side. Oh, it doesn't work if I just do it the other way?
Put them one on top of the other, the cards on the same. It reads it as one.
Okay. Yeah, well, see, remind me if I mess it up, all right? All right.
Bless him.
I'd hate to think I did all that without looking at my cards. Now that would be a little focal.
Hey, you're pretty tricky, but I don't think you're that tricky.
Yeah, Jason, I see you're in this photo here, this fun little photo with Sergio Garcia and Joe Cata, Maria Ho, Daniel Negreanu, this young lady named Tracy.
Oh, yeah.
Who's this here?
I can't remember her name.
I can't really get on you for that. I forget a lot, too.
Yeah.
Looks like O'Dwyer's flopped the best hand here. Yep, sure has.
Pairs his queen.
Can I predict the flop action?
Yeah, do it.
Check,
I would love that.
bet, call.
It goes check, check.
Oh, I was wrong.
Jason Mercier, you're incorrect.
All right.
Turn action?
Check, bet, call.
He's trying check, bet, call again.
And it might just go bet. It might just go bet, call. Nope.
Okay,
There's the check.
Check.
Yeah, check, bet, call.
We're a third of the way there. Here comes the bet. Do we get the call?
Yeah, he's not folding. No chance.
All right, well done.
There
well
we
done,
go.
Jason Mercier.
River action.
You didn't even need to see the card first.
Yeah, it's going check, bet, call.
Check, bet, call once again. 3 for 3. Jason's gone check, bet, call every time. There's the check.
Oh, wow. The bet is going to happen.
We have to wait till it actually does happen. Maybe he'll pull it back. Nope.
How much is that?
750,000
It's going to say, I don't believe you.
I have a queen.
Gee.
Nice job, Jason Mercier.
Nailed it.
You did nail it. How do you know that? Talk us through a little bit. How did you come to that?
Well, Roger's hand is kind of a, you have to check and decide whether or not to call. And it just seemed like, based on the previous hands that had happened, that he wasn't going to be much of a believer of Steve. So him checking and calling just seemed like what he was going to do. And then Steve is obviously going to have to bet at some point because he's got top pair.
So what you're saying, it's relatively easy to guess that, and I shouldn't have played your big long sound effect.
The sound effects were kind of cool, but shouldn't be that impressed by me being able to predict that.
By the way, you can tweet using the hashtag EPT Live. Fawad says, Jason not knowing the Police Academy movies makes me feel old. But Francesca says, I'm 23, and even I know Police Academy. Haven't seen all of them, but at least I've seen episodes 1 through 3.
Did she call them episodes?
No, that was me.
Okay.
I mean, I've heard of the movie.
Well, now
you
have.
I mean, because you guys just told me about him.
A reminder of today's question in the PCA Guess Who quiz, by the way. Remember, we are showing you classic moments from PCA history, and we're asking you to identify the missing player. Do not enter today. Do not tweet the answer. Do not email the answer. You're gathering the answers, and once you've got them all, you'll be able to enter on January 13th. There's a PCA goodie bag up for grabs here. So who is missing from this classic PCA moment? Is it Jonathan Duhamel, Isaac Haxton, Jason Kuhn, or Randy Liu? Instructions on how to enter the PCA Guess Who quiz will be given on day 5 of the main event. Remember, this is question 3 of 8, so make sure you're watching every day of the live stream. If you've missed questions 1 and 2, you need to go back and use the replay function. Christopher says, as Jason was right, does he pick from Stapes' bag of goodies?
Jason, do you want an ungrateful Christmas regift from me?
Is that like staple clause?
Sort of, almost. It's I've been given a bunch of Christmas gifts that I'm ungrateful for, and
I'll
I
take
brought
some
them.
candy.
I brought them with me.
Can I get some candy?
I had a box of Skittles, but I think they're gone.
Oh no, they're gone. I love Skittles.
Nope, no candy left, my friend. You can have this if you want, because I have 2 of these. Huh? Don't say what it is, because they're a secret.
I think the logo on it might actually...
I don't like that logo.
Yes.
Can I say that?
What do you mean?
Okay, Joe, let me explain things, right? In sports,
yeah,
you know you have divisions.
Wait, what is sports?
And you have divisional rivalries. And
you're losing me. Okay.
You could get. I would actually. You know what? I would take that. If can I have that?
Sure.
I could give it to a friend.
Okay. Who's the friend? Is it a girl?
Donnie Peters.
Close enough. You can have your choice.
I don't think that's close enough.
I've been hard up for a while. Which one do you want?
I think I'll take this one.
You want that one? Okay.
Sorry, what actually is it?
It's a beer koozie.
It's a koozie. You didn't know
Keeps
that?
your beer cold.
It keeps your beer cold because it looks like it would keep it warm. It looks like a
Well, wait a minute. I think that is more
I'm
rare
kinda with Jason.
for you to not know that than for me to not know Police Academy.
Well, the reason they don't have it in England is because England, they like the beer warm. It keeps your beer cold.
It's not just that. But
Also,
you're
it's so cold already there that the beer just stays cold.
There's actually
they don't need any
There's actually
extra.
another reason why you wouldn't have it is because you're not allowed to drink at sporting events.
Yeah, but
everyone gets all crazy there.
This is for your house even. You can use this
on
anywhere.
a hot summer day.
I drink
outside. I mean, it's
you
good
can
for
tell
a tailgate.
it's a high quality product
You're not
made in
gonna,
Mexico.
You're not going to put that around a glass of Crianza. You're not going to have that around your bottle of Saint-Emilion.
You know what a tailgate is?
I do know what a tailgate. Hey, we've got a tailgate at the PCA for the first time ever. You hear that?
No. Oh yeah, on Saturday.
It's the divisional playoffs this coming weekend.
I retweeted Gary Gates' tweet about it, letting people know. I think it's first 100 entries. So. Entries, like it's a poker tournament, but it's a tailgate.
So go ahead, you give that to Johnny Peters from me, and you tell him that...
No, it's from me. Sorry, bro.
Okay.
You passed it
You
off.
mean Donnie Peters from Poker News, who thinks poker should be more fun on television?
Maybe it's a different Donnie Peters, but he does work for Poker News.
It's probably the same guy. Okay.
Yeah, it might be the same guy.
By the way, we've rolled into level 23. Blinds are now 80,000 and 160,000 with a 20,000 ante.
Well, hello, Amy, who writes in on Twitter, says, Stapes is hot and funny. It's not often you find that in a man. I heart him and will hear nothing against him.
Whoa, man.
And I know what you're thinking. My mom's name is not Amy. Hello, Amy.
Oh, there you go. Maybe DM her, you know?
That would require that I follow her.
If you know what I mean.
I get in trouble for following girls, because it's usually to the parking lot.
Not too much movement in the chip stacks. O'Dwyer still leads 12.7 million to 3.7 million. Pretty much where we started when this heads-up battle began.
The Stapleton.
There you go, buddy.
Francesca says, I'm pretty sure people drink during soccer games. Francesca, I've never been to a soccer game, but I'm pretty sure that alcohol is banned in most stadiums. And people around me on the production team who know the sport are nodding vociferously.
Yeah.
On the outside of the stadium, you may, but inside, you're not allowed to, because otherwise people have too much to drink, then they get leery, and then, well, we all know what happens next.
I wonder if that's ever going to happen in the U.S.
You know the
for
fans are
sporting
segregated, Jason?
Fans are segregated.
We got over that in the 1960s, James.
You mean like
say, for example, the Dolphins were playing the Patriots.
Right,
Dolphins
yeah.
would be on one side of the stadium, Patriots fans would be on the other side.
I thought you
never
meant
the two
by
shall meet.
ethnicity. I was going to say
No,
that's
honestly.
really messed up.
Blimey.
Aren't they also segregated by how hardcore a fan you are too? Don't they have like a specific section for the people that like want to punch each other's brains in and stuff? When I went to a soccer game in France, they had a section for the fanatics. It's fenced off. Sipple's got trips here.
O'Dwyer with just queen high.
Fold, Steve. Nope, there you go.
We got the convoying in. It says you can drink, just not while the game is on. Bars are open before and at halftime. I thought there was 3 periods in soccer. No? Third time.
You're mixing up soccer and
Yeah.
hockey.
Ah, soccer.
They both have
Hocker.
Similar, 6 letters and an O and a C. And
C sound.
I can't remember who it was, but there was one pundit in the UK. There's this kind of classic cliche, which is, it's a game of 2 halves. And he went, it's a game of 2 halves unless it goes into extra time, in which case it's a game of 3 halves.
Well, there's that famous story where I went to see El Clasico in Barcelona with Mike McDonald, and I
feel like I've heard this.
A bunch of my friends, and we're like, we gotta get beers before the game starts. So we go to the concession stand, order 2 beers apiece. So we bring like 12 beers back to the seats, pound them all. We're like, let's get some more beers. So we go get 2 more beers apiece. At halftime, we realize non-alcoholic beers.
Non-alcoholic, I know. I did the same thing, but I realized it before I drank them.
So Sipple, Jack 10.
I was shocked at how many people are drinking the non-alcoholic beers. I just figured people would be drinking like a water or a Coke or whatever, But they're like, nope, we want to taste the beer, but no alcohol. It actually tastes pretty similar, to be honest.
Just the effects are different.
Not
Sipple.
too much difference.
Raising here with Jack 10.
450.
Ace 10 for Steve O'Dwyer.
Uh-oh.
That is domination consternation on Steve's face.
Sorry, I have to ask Joe, just very quickly, who bought you that? Because I thought you hated New England sports teams.
It's a longer story for another time.
Queen 8-8 on the flop.
So ace high, still the best hand. Sipple has flopped a gut shot.
Looks like he's going to continue the flop.
That's a big bet, too. 750 into 940 on the flop on a paired board. Dwyer's not going anywhere.
Deuce on the turn, changes nothing.
I'd assume Roger's going to check back here. Unless he just rips it in.
if you're Steve O'Dwyer, Jason, what's your plan for this hand? Do you have one?
I mean, I would assume Steve is just planning on folding if Roger bets the turn. If he checks, he's just going to assume that he might have the best hand, might not. If it goes check-check, he wins. And that's probably what's going to happen.
I'm all in.
Oh!
Oh, wow.
Roger. Roger, what are you doing to me?
Steve did hero before.
So strange.
Do you buy this story, Jason, if you're in Steve's shoes and you can't see hole cards?
I mean, especially when I know he has Jack 10.
Yeah,
I do not.
forget that.
I mean, it's a very interesting line. I would expect him to kind of have it here, to be honest, but...
Me too. And we've been saying that all day. Every time he's made a move like this, he has had it, including the time Steve heroed him with bottom pair.
There was another time when he made this move and Steve didn't hero him, and if he had, he would have been right.
Snapped it all in. Like, it's just kind of strange. Like, does he have a queen, you know? And he, like, tanked forever and checked it back. He also bet big on the flop, you know?
Right, so if he was going to be playing deceptive with a huge hand, that story doesn't check out.
Yeah, it just doesn't make too much sense. Like,
he probably never has the kind of hand that you would jam with here for value, is what you're saying.
yeah, like having a queen, like a bad queen, like queen 4 off or whatever. You know, or maybe even 2 kings, or any queen really. It just doesn't seem like that. You know, maybe he would, but it's just a very interesting line. You think that he might like bet smaller and then be able to bet shove, you know? Bet smaller on the flop.
Am I correct in assuming, by the way, if Steve calls, this tournament's over?
You are correct in that assumption.
Holy Lord, this is huge.
I don't think he's going to call, to be honest. Although he should.
This has been a final table of big hero calls.
Hero calls, yeah, absolutely. More hero calls than the main phone at the Justice League of America.
He's trying to figure out, like, what does Roger have? Also, what does he have to be bluffing with, you know? Did he just have, like, King Jack, you know? Or King 9, or Jack 10, you know, what hand?
Kane is confident. He says he's going to call. Enrique says, I smell a call.
Took him over 4 minutes last time to make the call.
John Eccles says, fair play, Rogers. Some moves. Brave lad.
Brave, but you do want to make sure your story makes sense, right, Jason? It's part of it.
Yeah, of course, but, you know, it's not, he's not really playing, he's not going to be playing like the other guys are playing, because he is an amateur, you know, so whether or not it makes sense or not, you know, might not really matter too much, just because Steve might just be like, I just don't see how he's ever bluffing here, you know.
3 minutes on this decision now.
But then again, he might just say, I don't see how he ever has it here, you know what I mean, Joe?
Closing in on 3.5 minutes.
This is a $500,000 decision. That's the difference between second and first place prize money.
It was right around this point that he heroed before.
Good call.
He calls,
Oh, wow.
and that's it. It's over.
Good call.
Ace high is the hand
Ace high.
with which Steve O'Dwyer wins the 100K super high roller here at the PCA.
Really annoying if he says good call and turns over ace jack.
I didn't have you on a pair, and you didn't have one. I didn't think you were going to make that call.
I was worried I had a 10 that blocks some of your gut shots. So.
Oh, good call.
Thank you.
Wow.
Nice job.
Thank you. You too.
Oh, man.
Steve
Nice comeback for both of
O'Dwyer.
us. So we were both the two ones that busted out early on day one.
Oh, is that right?
Our table, yeah. Both of us had to rebuy.
I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have pushed. Maybe I should have fought you a little more. But I thought that had a good chance of getting through.
Yeah, I had to think about it for a little while. But.
Calling me with just ace high. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I just called you the bottom pair earlier, so I don't like to fold. I like to see.
I see.
Well, he's going to see $1.8 million.
If I'd have known that you were that star. However, you were accused of being the
stickiest player of all time. So
I guess it paid off for you there. All right, good job. Yeah, that board just wasn't.
So Steve O'Dwyer takes the title, the first trophy of the 2015 PCA, and close to $1.9 million. $1,872,580 for his runner-up finish. Roger Sipple gets $1,344,420. And obviously, Jason, to get through this field, because these super high rollers have tough fields, to get to the final table, to get to second, shows that, you know, he's got game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm sure that he definitely played as well as he could, and you know, he beat out some of the best players in the world. I mean, you look at that final table; it's 6 pros and then the 1 amateur. So definitely an impressive finish for Roger getting second there.
Twitch says, "Wow, great call! I knew it." Billy says, "Steve O is the boss." Enrique says, "Boom." Thomas says, "Great call." Tom Curry says, "I knew he would." Always
two
easy
in a
to say
row,
that in retrospect.
Big call, heads up to win.
I win the Blue Diamond Bowl Player of the Day.
Blue Diamond Bowl Player of the Day for sure. Daniel brought it on day one. He had a big bag of the Blue Diamond almonds. I was like, is that like from an old lifetime supply?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not just playing with the money. Just still reviewing whether I made.
Are you guys like older than me?
Yeah, I mean.
Ryan LaPlante is so sick. Steve O'Dwyer once again showing he's one of the best ever.
You
Deserving winner.
So
let us
we
know
need
where you're celebrating.
We need to take a. I want to get a winner's photo with everybody.
Willie Elliott says, so good. Ace high. He knew his instincts told him, but he had the cojones to go with his read, and he put the chips in. Brilliant. So a quick reminder before we leave you for the day, before we go down to the floor, Joe speaks to Steve and we have the winner's presentation. We have the vote for Challenge State still running, and it's going to stay running for another 40 minutes. If you want to see Joe do stand-up in the Joker's Wild Comedy Club at Atlantis and have members of Team Pro, maybe Jason Mercier will be there, throw tomatoes at him, vote stand-up. If you want to see him run a bar, make cocktails, vote cocktails. Do you want to see him race against maybe Barry Greenstein, vote slider. Go to the European Poker Tour or PCA Facebook page, click on the EPT Live/PCA Live tab and vote. You have until 8 o'clock this evening, and suffice to say, Stand Up is currently in the lead. And remember that we will be back tomorrow because we will have coverage of the final day of the LAPT main event. The 3K event, which started yesterday, they made the money today. They're meant to be playing down to the final table today. There's a very small chance that'll happen, but we will have the final day on EPT Live from 1 p.m. Eastern Time, so make sure you join us tomorrow. So Jason Mercier, thank you very much indeed for spending some time with us in the booth.
No problem.
Pleased to see Steve win a super high roller?
Yeah, definitely. He definitely deserved to win, and I mean, he played well. Was chipping up on his second bullet after he rebought. I saw his stack just continually growing throughout day 2. So happy to see him win for sure.
And obviously we wish you luck in the main event, day 1B tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see you on the stream.
Yeah, that would be great. Hopefully I'm at the final table.
So our thanks to Jason Mercier And my thanks, as ever, to the entire production team as we stand by for the winner's interview and the winner's presentation. Steve O'Dwyer has shipped the super high roller here at the PCA 2015. $1.872 million and the trophy, and of course, the pleasure and the privilege of speaking to my co-host, Joseph Stapleton.
Steve O'Dwyer, 18 months ago when you won the APT Grand Final and I tried to ask you how you felt, you said there are no words. All you could do was hug me. Do you think that you have a few words now? How do you feel now?
Feel pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I don't really ever have many words no matter what, so I don't know. I won. That's fun.
Is it just a lack of words or is it a lack of emotion altogether? Like you're feeling something in there, I hope.
Yeah, I feel pretty nice, but like it's kind of important when you're playing these tournaments, like no matter what happens, to keep your emotions in check. So I'm very excited that I won, but it might not look like it, but I'm pretty happy.
Is part of it that you're so prepared for what happens if you don't win that when you do, you're just automatically in like robot mode?
Yeah, I mean, I try to be in robot mode when I lose and when I win also, because yeah, you just want to keep your heart rate like normal. If your emotions are swinging all over the place all the time, it's not good for your mental health.
So when does it finally sink in? Is there a time when the heart rate does go up, like when you get 10 feet out of the tournament room, when you go to bed tonight? When does it actually?
I think when I get back to my room, I'll be pretty openly excited.
And you were in this thing for 2 bullets for $200,000. Did you have that same sort of stoic emotionlessness, or was there, were you sweating it a bit?
No, I made a pretty big mistake to bust the first bullet, I think. So yeah, I was sweating it a little bit. I wasn't too happy about having to go back to registrations, but I'm glad I did.
And now you're only one of 2 people who has both a super high roller win and an EPT main event win. Does that mean anything extra to you?
Yeah, sure. I didn't know that. Who's the other?
I think it's Martin Finger, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, Martin Finger. Yeah, that's a pretty good company.
All right, Steve. Well, like I said last time, 18 months ago, when you won the grand final, all you're able to do is hug me. Can I get another hug now?
Of course.
Yes.
Bring it in for the real thing.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, let's get a big round of applause for PCA 2015 Super High Roller Champion, Steve O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer rules.
Always got to sneak that one in there.
Huge congratulations to Steve O'Dwyer. Congratulations to all the 7 players we saw competing today, and belated congratulations to Scott Seaver, who also made this final table and cashed in 8th place last night. And Roger Sipple, at one point had the chip lead, had that huge cooler against O'Dwyer. He was the underdog coming into that heads-up battle. Steve had such a big chip lead, and Steve eventually closed it out and is now the winner.
Welcome to the presentation for the PCA 2015 Super High Roller. To present the trophy is David Carrion, the Director of Live Operations LATAM. After 3 days of exceptional poker, we finally have a winner. But first, congratulations to our runner-up, Roger Sipple. Please give him a big hand. And now to our PCA 2015 Super High Roller Champion. Now $1.872 million richer. Please put your hands together for Steve O'Dwyer.
Thank you.
All right, Roger, congratulations for being runner-up. Steve, congratulations for winning. It's not often that I get to stand next to 2 new millionaires, but I think you've represented the game very well. You've conducted yourselves very well, and the quality of play was outstanding. Top final table. You're going to be the reigning champion for a full year of the PCA Super High Roller, and we hope to see you soon both again next year.
Of course.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Not just 1 millionaire, 2 millionaires. And of course, we'll be crowning more champions as the week goes on. Tomorrow is the final day of the LAPT Bahamas event. Our live coverage starts at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And then it's all about the main event. Day 2 through to the final table. More cards up coverage. Another big winner on the tour. It all concludes on the 14th of January, and of course there'll be EPT Live League free rolls running every single day. Don't forget, you can follow the action from the main event across Day 1A and Day 1B on the PokerStarsBlog.com. Plus, there'll be a full write-up of today's action from the Super High Roller, plus all the side stories that you know and love, plus the photography of Neil Stoddart. My thanks to Joe Stapleton. Join us tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, for the LAPT. Congrats again to Steve O'Dwyer. Until tomorrow, from me, James Hartigan, it's good night from the Bahamas.